Back to Besa starts right now on Fox 13.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Back to Besa. I'm your host, Besa Gordon, and this week's episode is all about arts and culture. So you already know it's time to grab your snacks. This week on Back to Besa, we head to SoDo for the Sonics Was Taken event. We sail with the Clipper round the world's yacht race. We head to Renton for the Northwest Naturals Expo. We hear from our friends at Ground Zero Radio as they head to Asia Pacific Cultural Center in Tacoma to learn about their youth programs. We head to South Seattle for the Platinum Plush Ribbon cutting. We go to the CD for Bubblin Brown Sugar. Love and relationships coach Debrena Jackson Gandy is back to talk about Debrena's modern courtship. Plus, we have events to know about. I don't know about you, but I've been screaming, bring back our Sonics since I was in high school. So when I found out that the Sonics Was Taken event was going down over in the SoDo area, I had to pull up for myself to see what the vibe would be. Not gonna lie, when I first got there, I didn't really know what to expect. They created this pathway that had signs to which gave you directions on where to go, and once you even got to the front door, you still didn't necessarily know what you were walking into. But once you went inside, it was a whole different kind of vibe with people networking and mingling. And yes, to me, there's a difference. Music, live band, dancing, plenty of people dressed up in their favorite Sonics gear. In case you missed it, Trey Holiday, host of The Day with Trey, produced an amazing segment showing you exactly how it all went down. Let's take a look.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Trey Holiday, right here at Sonics Was Taken event in SoDo, right here. I'm telling y'all, it is a phenomenal time we're about to be having tonight. They have brought together not only an effort to bring the Sonics back to Seattle, but they have infused this event with food, music, fashion, and art. So I'm telling y'all, this is not only an amazing event, bringing folks together to understand the efforts to bring the Sonics back is real, but it's also a space to vibe out, man, get networked in, meet other people who are also encouraged to bring the Sonics back. And I'm telling y'all, I'm excited for tonight. I'm glad that we are here on the ground to bring y'all this amazing event of the Sonics Was Taken.
A lot of people work really hard to do really great things. This is what happens when people just dream of something fun and wild. I don't know, friend and I just texting back and forth and saying hey, let's work on a project together. And it's let's bring back the Sonics and look what can happen. I don't know, I think that's what dreams are made of, right?
We really just wanted to put some merch together that was inspired by the Sonics, but then after we started building it, more ideas just started compiling onto each other, and we're just hey, let's just work with the people that are here at Great Pants because they can help us realize all these crazy ideas that we have.
And all the art pieces, I remember showing up here, doing a couple of the photo shoots, seeing the process, seeing everyone work. I know it took months to get this together. I know it's already about to be amazing.
Okay, so it's important to know that Seattle is on the map and crushing it, because what we're seeing here happen is an atrophy of talent leaving sometimes. Really ingrained in that tapestry of arts and culture, and so we just need to broadcast it out a little bit louder, a little bit prouder, I think, to the rest of the world. The Sonics Was Taken event, we put a lot of planning behind the user experience. And my background's in marketing and retail, and how you feel in a place through every sensory experience, taste, touch, sight, sound, and smell. So our first impression was the gate where we have security, right? And so you're in this industrial district, you don't know what to expect, but then you open this door and you're a championship tunnel, and you see the flags, and you've got the swag and the lights and the mood and the vibe, music's pumping through, and you're just what is going on here? And that was kind of the thrill of it. We wanted to build in experiences, but we also wanted to build in surprises.
We wanted to make sure that people are aware of what we're trying to do here. And I'm hoping within the next year or two that we'll have the Seattle Supersonics back here in Seattle. I think this venue, this event that we're having right now is perfect. It's perfect.
Oh my God, I'm so excited the fact that we have an opportunity to bring the Sonics back and then have all the network around them to make sure that we're successful. I love seeing the ingenuity and how our young people think.
This city has been missing that NBA pulse. It's something that just
excites all the kids, all the adults, and for people like us, it's kind of nostalgic. But I think what's even bigger is people finding these events and learning that they're here and also coming out and knowing that they're welcome to come.
What's up, everybody? Trey Holiday back here with y'all. It has been an amazing night. We got some great interviews with folks who were talking about why this event is important and also why it's important for community to be involved in the effort to bring the Sonics back. This was dope. Sonics was taken. Make sure you go to the website so you can actually follow up on how we can stay engaged to bring the Sonics back to Seattle. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much to my good sis Trey Holiday, who produced this segment and captured the essence of what went down that night. When it comes to Seattle, it's something about the Sonics that just brings the city so much joy. Even though we've been hearing little chirps about potentially getting a new team in 2025, nothing has been solidified as far as I'm concerned. And it feels good when you're in a space with others who are also excited about the possibility of us getting our NBA team back. And let me also point out how dripped people came in their Sonics gear. Like when they finally do come back, I can just imagine the kind of parade the city is going to put on before we even have our first game. Shout out to Sonics Was Taken for putting on the event and my good sis Trey Holiday for giving attendees a voice and a place to talk about why they want their Sonics back. Until the next Sonics event, make sure that you check out The Day with Trey Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. on Converge Media, and be sure to shoot me an email at backtobesa@whereweconverge.com with your favorite Supersonics memory. All right, you guys, we are off to our very first commercial break, but when we come back, we are headed to the Central District for this year's Bubblin Brown Sugar.
The importance to share the history of the Buffalo Soldiers of Seattle and Buffalo Soldiers of everywhere, including cowboys and cowgirls of color everywhere, is really important because most likely they're forgotten. It's important that they're acknowledged, especially for girls like me who look up to them.
At a rodeo, it's got an impact on people when they see somebody doing something like that, especially a person of color, you know what I mean? It's got a big impact on people, I think.
Representing the Evergreen State, I am your Miss Teen Rodeo Washington, Jessa Thomas. Welcome to the Windswept Farm.
Welcome back to Besa. Bubblin Brown Sugar has been an event I've gone to right here in Seattle since I was in middle school. I remember the first time going and seeing all of the dance teams hit the floor. They did backflips, they had costumes, and I even remember there was a whole boxing ring created right in the middle of the dance floor. It was something that made me instantly want to be a part of Bubblin Brown Sugar and really just get out there and compete myself. For decades, Bubblin Brown has been giving our community goosebumps with epic moves that happen on the floor while creating nostalgic vibes from seeing different friends and family members that we haven't seen for a while. Well, due to a lot of us not living in the Central District anymore. Last Saturday, Bubblin Brown Sugar once again took over the Garfield High School gym with different dance teams from across the greater Seattle area. Once again, leaving it all on the floor. This year's Bubblin Brown Sugar was a little different though, as this time around there wasn't a panel of judges. The dancers were actually judged by the crowd. Some of the talented dance teams that hit the floor this year was the Throwbacks, NGT, Cutting Up, Highline, and more. While there, we talked with some of the dancers who performed this year at Bubblin Brown Sugar, some who have performed over the years, and more to find out what keeps them coming back every year. Let's check out what went down this year at Bubblin Brown Sugar.
For those who don't know, this is a long time tradition that's had a lot of different variations over the years. Since 1979, there's been an off and on dance contest in this building by the name of Bubblin Brown Sugar.
Today is Bubblin Brown Sugar
rep your city, different schools, different dance teams, different groups, just coming together in the spirit of dance.
We're bringing community dance teams out. We've got teams from different schools, different communities. We've got some throwbacks, some grown folks. We got a little bit of everything, and folks are coming here to experience dance competition as well as come back home to Garfield and the Central area.
You could feel the energy. You could feel the love from the community. The support is very strong here. You know, one of the teams just from Northwest Seattle, the cheer squad, you can just, the support, just the welcoming of all dancers from all type of backgrounds. You're gonna just feel that welcoming and that, like, you belong here. You'll feel that when you come here.
It just makes me really happy to see like everyone dance and stuff because everyone's just so amazing at it, and you can see like how much effort it took to like make a whole routine, and like the people in the crowd are also into it, and everyone's cheering, and everyone's just having fun.
Bubblin Brown is important because I feel like it lifts up black and brown voices, first of all. Like Coach said here, this was one of the only places like black dancers had to be able to go dance at or even perform or showcase themselves. And I feel like it's also important because it's not only that but a fundraiser, and we get to raise money for important causes.
Bubblin Brown Sugar is exciting. It gives like less experienced dancers a chance to like showcase themselves in front of their community. And then also it gives like a hub for like black dancers to really come together.
Born and raised Seattle. Recently moved back from Brooklyn. Got to come back down with my sister. Brought my nieces and nephews. I know at one point Bubblin Brown was closed down for a minute. So now that it's back and active and the community is really being involved and engaged, I'm just so excited to be here for my first time back.
When we were all younger, we were our own coaches. We were our own choreographers. We just needed an advisor who didn't know nothing about dance to watch us at school. But now every school feels like they need a choreographer. And let me just say this, any kids that's listening, you don't. All you need is yourself, your creativity, a little speaker, and some dedicated people, and y'all can do it.
Bubblin Brown Sugar is magic.
If I were to say what keeps me coming back to Bubblin Brown Sugar each year, it's definitely a mashup of the performances, seeing friends I haven't seen in years, and the overall energy that takes over Garfield's gym. Each year, proceeds from the event benefit 100 Black Parents, a Seattle-based 501c3 nonprofit that leads students and parent engagement programs at Garfield High School and beyond. To learn more about Bubblin Brown Sugar, follow their Instagram at Bubblin Brown 206 or their Facebook at Bubblin Brown Sugar. All right, you guys, we're off to another commercial break, but when we come back, we're headed to South Seattle for the Platinum Plush Fashions ribbon cutting.
When I launched Back to Besa last year, what was important to me was that 1, we uplifted our stories, not only from Seattle, but all across the region. And 2, that this show, Back to Besa, was always free and accessible to everyone everywhere, no matter their situation. That way, they can see what I see daily. You know, the beauty, the excellence, and the resilience of our communities across the Pacific Northwest. Why? Because access to positive images of us is important and necessary, as representation always matters. So look, no matter where you live, be it the Central District or Centralia, Bellevue or Boise, Portland or Pullman or anywhere across the country. I want you to join me on this Back to Besa journey by downloading the free Fox Local app on your phone or smart TV as we continue to elevate the very best of us in our communities. And then you'll be able to see what I see, and you'll know that our story is amazing and this uplift is always real.
Welcome back to Besa. Platinum Plush Fashions in South Seattle marked its 23rd anniversary with a grand reopening celebration. Thanks to the tenant improvement grant from the Seattle Office of Economic Development, the store, which was in need of repair, actually underwent a stunning transformation. Our cameras captured the historic ribbon cutting ceremony as customers and community members joined owner Nikita Mathis in celebrating this momentous occasion. Let's check it out.
I'm so excited. This is a dream come true for me. I never imagined this day, honestly. 23 years, this is my first ribbon cutting ceremony. This is my first grand opening. All right, to God be the glory.
Yes, Lord.
To God be the glory.
1, 2, 3.
Hi, my name is Nikita Mathis. I'm the owner of Platinum Plush Fashions in South Seattle. Platinum Plush originated in 1998, but started out of the trunk of my vehicle back in 2001. And I have been in the South Seattle community for over 23 years now. Today is a historical moment for me and my business. We're celebrating 23 years in business, and we're celebrating and unveiling our new remodeled look of our store. Thanks to the City of Seattle's Office of Economic Development, they've made this remodel possible, and so I'm just here today. The community is out today. The City of Seattle is here. My friends, my family are here. We're enjoying great food, free giveaways, and of course, fun, affordable fashion that we're so known for.
There's probably 500 stores that have closed since Nikita's opened up, and it's because of her passion and to be alive on the community. So as you can see, the turnout is amazing. Even though it's our typical Seattle weather, folks came out. We had to walk. We had the food over there, and people are buying clothes in there. She got raffles in there. She's doing it like she's supposed to. Very, very, very nice presentation.
What I love about Platinum Plush is the versatility, the fact that she opens doors to everybody, not just her culture. Her clothes are for her culture and for everybody else, not just her. You become a part of the family. That's what I love about the store. She has beaten all odds. She has made it through COVID. I'm pretty sure she made it through so many hard times, and she's still standing. She's growing, and there's not a lot of businesses that grow. There's not a lot of Black women in power. I look up to her. She makes me want to be a better person.
Today is special, and it's a historic moment for not only my business, but this community entirely. This community has been very instrumental and supportive over the years.
I am forever a Platinum Plush alumni. I went from 16 and I'm 36 and I'm still here, and I come here and I celebrate because this is just more than just a store for me. It's home.
Definitely want to give a shout out and some love to Converge Media. Thank you for always showing support to small businesses throughout the community like mine. We really need you and we appreciate you. Shout out to the Fax News, C-Spot, Presidential Media, City of Seattle's Office of Economic Development, the Urban League, Martin Luther King Business Association, and Homesite. All of those have been my support system and my friends in this journey. Thank you.
You know, the average person keeps the same job for 4.3 years. And yes, that is Googleable information. In this case, Nikita's business has thrived for 23 years. I want to take a moment to send a huge congratulations to Nikita Mathis and Platinum Plush Fashions on 23 years of serving up style and community empowerment. Be sure to stop by Platinum Plush, located at 6511 38th Ave South in Seattle. And you can follow them on IG at Platinum Plush Fashions and visit them online at myplushfashions.com. Author of The Love Lies and Back to Besa 11 Relationships coach, Debrena Jackson Gandy is back. And this time, we're talking about Debrena's modern courtship, where she breaks down the different levels of dating. According to Debrena, your first date shouldn't be longer than an hour, and it should be something more like a coffee date. And in Debrena's modern courtship, dates at home are a no-go in the beginning stages. Child, she even calls out the girlies that like to cook on the first date. I swear she reads me and my dating habits for filth every single time she pulls up. Anywho, let's check out Debrena's love and relationships tips for the month. Let's talk a little bit more about your modern courtship and some things that people should actually start doing and that they can start doing, say, tomorrow if they have a date.
Well, I like the example you were talking about where in the old dating model, right, to go to dinner, which is usually at night, it's under the cover of dark, and oftentimes the man is the one paying, may be out of $100+ easily, depending on where he took that woman. She may not even be what I call a great date, but he's out of the money regardless. So part of Debrena's modern courtship is setting up steps. I actually, in my book, The Love Lies, I call them gradations. And the first date is not at night. It is not a 3-digit, 4-digit cost to it. You start with an hour. You start during the day. You start with a very low dollar amount because money is energy, and that's part of the energy units that are exchanged. So keep them low and build them over time if you decide to see each other again. But you start with a minimum amount of time, a low dollar amount, and you know in an hour over a smoothie or tea or coffee or yogurt if you want to be back in that person's presence. You do not need night, 3 hours, and $195 restaurant bill. So then the next time you increase the time, the dollars might increase, and you create a gradation is what I call it. So a stepped process versus just off the deep end. And so what that sets it up for is if it turns out after date 2 that it's like, you know, it's not clicking, you haven't invested $300-400 after 2 dates and 3-4 hours, 5-6 hours. If you did dinner and a movie or dinner and a concert, now you got all these hours, you have these dollars that someone's out of pocket that does not get refunded. And so we need to start in a different place and change our thinking. And then I am not a big fan of having dates in anyone's home. There's too many options outside of your home. That's your most sacred space, and someone that you're just getting acquainted with, you don't even know their middle name, they don't get to come into the sacred space of where you live. Now, if you all continue to see each other over time and they become boyfriend, girlfriend, the designation changes, or we have agreed, keyword agreed, that we are now dating exclusively, at that point, if you get to that point, now to cross the threshold over into your personal sacred living space is something that should happen definitely down the road. But it amazes me how many times I hear people say, oh yeah, she invited me over for dinner. He invited me over for dinner. The first date.
You're like, wait a minute, we just got here.
Right, so stuff is all out of sequence. Besa and Debrena's modern courtship brings some order back. It brings honor back. It helps us to relax. And it's a win-win for both men and women. That's what's so awesome.
And to think, there's so much more in the full interview, which is a good 25 minutes. I'm telling you, if you're trying to get your dating game right, you need to tap in with Mrs. Debrena Jackson Gandy. Head on over to the Fox Local app or whereweconverge.com/back-to-basics to check out the full interview. And I suggest you have your notepad ready because this was just a taste of what Debrena had to offer in the full interview. In the meantime, between time, keep up with Debrena Jackson Gandy on her website at milliondollarmentor.net. All right, guys, it's time for another commercial break. But when we come back, we're headed to Renton for this year's Northwest Naturals Expo. Of course, you're watching Back to Besa. Back to Besa. In its 8th year, the Northwest Naturals Expo came back bigger than ever. For the first time, it was a 3-day event with a brunch and even a step competition. They also had live hairstyling, live makeup applications, performance, and a vegan food booth. Dude, this year, I wanted to talk with some of the attendees about their favorite part of the event, but also the importance of the event, not only for those who want to, well, learn about the latest hair trends, but the representation it gives our youth. Let's take a moment to relive what went down at this year's Northwest Naturals Expo.
Hi, I am Kariba Jock. Welcome to the 8th annual
Northwest Naturals Expo here at the Renton Pavilion in downtown Renton. We have demos, live cooking, hair, stylists doing their thing, makeup artists going, barbers giving lineups and cuts. Right now we are at the main event for my 3-day weekend, and it's pretty epic and I'm excited. Truth be told, like, I created the event when I was in a lull. I had no clients because I'm a photographer. And I'm like, is this seasonal depression or am I just like bored? Like, I thrive when I'm doing something. So I decided, you know what? Talk to Angela Mose. She is Seattle's very own Insta plug. And she's like, you should put on an event, use my hotel. And I'm like, perfect. I sat there and thought about it. There's no natural hair events in Seattle. I'm like, I got it. I'm gonna name it the Seattle Naturals Extravaganza. And then I did a name change to the Northwest Naturals Expo because it's bigger than just Seattle. There needs to be more public community events that people can go to interact with other people, uplift small businesses that have their pop-up shops. So the importance is we don't need to fly to Atlanta, New York, and Houston to go to these events. We can do it here in Seattle. There is a population for it. So that's, I filled that void. It's kind of missing.
I feel like this event is wonderful for our community because we're showcasing so many different hair textures and letting everybody know that you're able to rock your hair however you want and be accepted, as well as you're having young girls coming to this event, showcasing their talents and gifts by expressing themselves through dance and movement, as well as you have community vendors here showcasing what they sell. And they may not have a platform to sell in a storefront and they might be online, right? But here you have the platform to come inside and actually sample products and purchase. So I love it. I think this is awesome and hopefully next year it's even greater.
My favorite thing about stepping is the bond between the team and being able to make music and rhythm with the beat of our bodies and being able to make people smile when they watch us. Seeing how they cheer and get all excited when they see us perform, it's really fun.
They need to know that we're here. When people come to Seattle, they're like, wait, where are the melanated folks? And we're showing them, and even though our group is multicultural, like they're knowing that there's a strong Black presence here at the Northwest Natural Expo. So it's a great way. I believe that it'll encourage those to come out since they feel like they're the only ones here. So if they see an event like this going on, it'll encourage them to go from years and years.
A lot of people today I've been talking to about nutrition. The kids come and they pick up their grow kits and they take them home. They get to grow their own vegetables. And then here at my booth, I always have food. And people always like, it's free, it's free. I love sharing vegan food. I love changing everybody's mind about vegan food. So that's what my booth is all about. I think we need stuff like this, especially for kids to see events where we're celebrating natural hair and natural beauty. Or I just think it's really important for kids to be able to see stuff like that. And I mean, even older people, but like most importantly, I think bringing kids out to events like this is huge because they get to see like natural hair is beautiful. Like, yeah, and I mean, I remember growing up when, I was younger, struggling with stuff like that, but I love that kids are now more exposed to that, especially with events like this. It's great to see. There's so many kids here today.
You're meeting new people, you're connecting with different businesses that you might have not normally ever walked into their storefront or seen online. So the dynamic of the both of that just makes you leave happy. So I'm happy that they're happy, and that's why I keep bringing them back.
Shout out to Kariba Jack, who you may remember me interviewing right here on Back to Besa a couple weeks ago. Kariba has been putting on the Northwest Naturals Expo for the last 8 years. And believe it or not, it honestly started with her just really wanting something extra to do with her time. And look at what it blossomed into. It's a space where people are able to feel seen. It's a space where your youth are able to learn about their natural beauty in a world that is ran by Instagram filters. Shout out to both the Northside Step team, who was on the show last week, and the Daughters of Royalty Drill and Dance Ensemble, who took home the W that day in the step competition. To learn more about Northwest Naturals Expo and what's coming up next, visit northwestnaturalsexpo.com. All right, you guys, we're off to another commercial break, but when we come back, we're headed to Tacoma with our good friends over at Ground Zero Radio to learn more about Asia Pacific Cultural Center's youth programs. Of course, you're watching Back to Besa. Welcome back to Besa. May is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And to kick it off, our friends over at Ground Zero Radio took a trip to Tacoma, the city of destiny, to speak with staff and students at the Asia Pacific Cultural Center, where the GZR team got to learn more about their youth programs. Asia Pacific Cultural Center, or APCC, is a center for cultural exchange, providing programs and services that promote the greater awareness, understanding, equity, and inclusion of the Asian and Pacific Islander people. APCC proudly represents and serves Asia Pacific people from 47 different countries, bringing people together in the spirit of acceptance and understanding, helping to build a stronger, healthier, more vibrant community for present and future generations. This segment, which we are about to see, was produced by GZR's Kaylin Bruschetti, who not only co-produced it, but get this, she was a reporter, host, producer, and more. Let's take a moment to learn more about the Asia Pacific Cultural Center.
We recently made a trip to Tacoma to visit the Asian Pacific Cultural Center to speak to their staff and students about the amazing youth programs that APCC provides in the community.
We actually serve statewide, yes, and we showcase, teach, and represent about the 47 nations that make up all of Asia and all of the South Pacific. Yes, and so we have great programs. We have the youth program, and we have the business and community engagement services program. We have mental health now, and we have the cultural programs.
We have after-school tutoring. That's our main focus on helping young people, academics support. That's the after-school tutoring program. We're doing the one-on-one mentoring, guiding, coaching. That's also teaching leadership skill, social emotional learning activity at our after-school program.
Something that we also pride ourselves on is culturally sensitive and trauma-informed care. So when we say we're going to be there, we're going to be there. And that's creating that safe space for them to express themselves. And we do that for all of our youth. And so when we are there, when we say we're going to be there, we are there for them.
I know APCC program through Maggie Chris. She helped me to do the FASFA, and also I joined Fit Club, and we need to practice the dance more, and we need the place. So Mama said we can borrow the room in APCC to dance, and we practice the dance every single day in APCC.
I got to do a luau with APCC, and I love event organizing, and it's just so fun to decorate and set up, and okay, here we go, everything's set up, and it's just amazing how you can set up and it turns out so beautiful.
Don't be afraid to try new things, but also to get out of your comfort zone when it comes to learning about new cultures or ideas that are new to you.
After hearing about these incredible opportunities, we decided to make a trip to Lincoln High School and capture the students in their multicultural clubs. When we arrived at Lincoln, an APCC representative was assisting students with their financial aid forms, while other students from the Filipino Club were rehearsing for an upcoming multicultural night at Browns Point Elementary.
It's really exciting to be able to have this opportunity to just being able to go on stage and represent our cultures. I learned Tinikling and our other dances from the APCC, from Atenmar. Coming from a very diverse background, it just means a lot. And having that opportunity to showcase it is very meaningful.
Thank you so much to our friends over at Ground Zero Radio for the stories they bring us each month. This month's segment was brought to you by Ground Zero Radio's Kaylin Bruschetti, and this happened to be her very first assignment with GZ Radio. We also want to give a shout out to APCC youth Aaron Noel Cortez for stepping in and assisting with camera duties, who Kaylin also helped out with too. To learn more about Ground Zero Radio, keep up with them on their website at gzradio.org. Earlier this week, 11 70-foot racing yachts and 200 fearless non-professional sailors arrived at Bell Harbor in Seattle after a 6,000 nautical mile race across the North Pacific Ocean from Qingdao, China, as part of the Clipper Around the World Yacht Race. The Clipper Around the World Yacht Race is the only event of its kind which trains everyday people to become ocean racers. Each of the 11 teams is led by 2 experienced professional sailors, a skipper and a first mate, with the rest of the international crew made up of people from all walks of life, with professions including tattoo artists, dairy farmers, engineers, teachers, and more. We sent Back to Besa producer G. Prez along with camera operator Matt Bermudez and photographer Jordan Summers to check out the yacht and brave the waters of the Puget Sound and see what it was like to set sail. I think what you will see though is although it might look fun, it was definitely hard work.
Today, we are live. It's your boy G. Prez with Converge Media. We're here on Seattle's waterfront, about to head out on the water with a crew traveling around the world on some incredible sails. So stick with us. We're about to hit the waves and see what it really do. Man, getting the safety boat on, baby. Gotta put the safety first. As we head out from Bell Harbor Marina, folks, we're about to have an experience on the water with Clipper Around the World. Leg number 7 of 8 stopped in Seattle. Just got back from China. Next stop is going through the Panama Canal, heading over to Washington, D.C. on the East Coast. Stick with us.
Each boat has a professional skipper and first mate who are responsible for all the crew, and then there could be up to 22 on board. And when you see below deck later, you'll see how cramped conditions it is. It's not a luxury yacht. Everyone shares a bunk and gets to know each other really well.
I've sailed all my life. This is the first time I've done this race as skipper. I did it the last one as a first mate, so in Ella's position. So then I've got promoted up to skipper for this race. So this is the main sail. It's a very big sail, very heavy as well. So we have to get it from where it is now all the way up to the top there, which is quite a long way. So it does require a bit of physical action. What we do is we get people to do something called sweating. So this is where they're going to stand and like ring it like a bell to try and get it up. Hopefully they'll get it about halfway. We then have to grind it. So you'll see that we have these things in the middle here with the handles on that Ollie's got his hand on. These are called our coffee grinders. And these is how we handle all of the lines.
So about 40% of our crew have never sailed before, but that's exactly why the Clipper Race is here, to give people the opportunity to be an ocean racer. Everyone has to do 4 weeks of mandatory rigorous training on our 68-foot boats for their first few levels of training, and then we'll come on a 70 for their level 3 maybe, but definitely for their level 4. Ocean racing is an extreme sport. Everyone must make sure that they pass the training before they can go sailing.
Come on in. I'll show you our luxurious interior. On the banks, we've got spinnaker. So the spinnaker is the big, bulky sail, which is going on in front of the boat. And then we've got the white sails, so-called white sails. It's triangular sails which we use when we sailing upwind. And here is our accommodation area. Whole bunk, so once one person is sleeping, the other one is on the watch, and vice versa. So when he's coming back, he's going to sleep, and the other one is coming back. Right, and when the boat is sealed over, you can lift yourself up and unlock yourself. So sometimes you got really right up there. This is crazy, right? This is crazy. And you share the bed, so you don't get this isn't my bed. I got to give my bed up in 4 hours. Yeah.
The last one we just did was like cold and wet and big seas and big weather, and this one is a lot more sort of chill, smoother. The wind is generally a lot lighter. It gets a lot hotter. So I spend the cold legs dreaming of the hot legs, and then I spend the hot legs dreaming of the cold legs. So I think generally we all prefer the heat a bit more. It means it's a lot easier, you don't have to wear so many clothes and you can just be in shorts and t-shirts all the time.
This leg is going to be really, really hot. So you're going to leave the cold waters of the Pacific Northwest and start heading down past the US, and then keep going, and it's just going to get hotter and hotter.
Thank you to everyone at Clipper Around the Yacht Race for the invite, and the crew from Washington, D.C., especially Skipper Hannah Brewis. And also, big shout out to the Seattle Sports Commission for the Connect. I already know our crew had a blast, especially G-Press, and I'm not gonna hold you. I still can't believe y'all actually let him sell the yacht. Anywho, so far the teams have raced over 20,000 nautical miles, with the global route having stopped in Spain, Uruguay, South Africa, Australia, Vietnam, China, and now Seattle. The race continues from the Emerald City to the Panama Canal, and then off to Washington, D.C. before heading across the Atlantic Ocean. You can follow all the race action by visiting clipperoundtheworld.com. Okay guys, we're off to another commercial break, but when we come back, it's time for events to know about.
Hello, my name is Takia Ward, aka T-Dub. I am the founder of the Resole 206. We are Seattle's first dry cleaner for sneakers. We specialize in cleaning, restoring, and customizing services here in the Central District of Seattle, Washington. On March 7th, we suffered a break-in at our shop, with over 25 pairs of shoes being taken and 15,000 in immediate losses. It has completely devastated our business and definitely sent us for a loop. We are fortunate and grateful that our community has been behind us every step of the way, and we are hopeful that support will continue as we recover from this devastating loss. The Central District has always been the cornerstone for Black and Brown entrepreneurship, and it's this neighborhood that inspired me to open the Resole 206. The connection between residents and retail has always been one that I've truly appreciated. However, it appears lately that we've lost touch with one another, leading to some unfortunate events. To that, I say no more. This situation has taught me just how important community and connection are, not only to my business, but to the building of a neighborhood that is safe and enjoyable for everyone. And as we embark on our recovery journey, we intend to lead with a united mindset that we can get through and overcome any obstacle together. I want to thank everyone for their messages of encouragement. I want to thank my family and friends for being by my side, Converge Media for the unwavering uplift, and I want to thank my customers for their continued business and support. If you want to support me and the Resole 206 in our recovery efforts, head over to our website, www.theresole206.com.
Welcome back to Besa. I'm your host, Besa Gordon, and it's time for Events to Know About, where I tell you about all the dope events happening around the city that you don't want to miss. So let's jump right into it. First up. Now, Saturday, May 11th, there's a few things going on, okay? For starters, you have the plant-based junk food in Seattle over at Stoop Brewing. You also have the Queen Anne Spring Wine Walk, and the 5th annual Africa Fashion Week, Seattle is going down. Now, May 19th is Standing on Business. This is happening over at Alderwood Boys and Girls Club. May 19th, also, you have Benny the Butcher and some special guests. They're going to be performing over at Neptune Theater. Now, May 24th through the 27th, Folk Life is back over at the Seattle Center. May 26th, and I told you about this a couple weeks ago, Massive Monkeys has their own day, and this year it is May 26th and it's going down over at Neptune Theater. Now, Sunday, July 14th, Lucky Day is going to be performing over at Showbox SoDo. July 19th through the 21st, Bye to Seattle is back over at Seattle Center. And speaking of things being back at Seattle Center, dude, Blast Fest is back at Seattle Center. And let me tell you, if you missed it last year, you missed a treat if you love you some Afrobeat. So definitely make sure you pull up this year. All right, you guys, that's it for this week's Events to Know About. Dude, hopefully you found something dope to do around the city. And of course, if you have an event that you want me to know about, simply send me an email at backtobesa@whereweconverge.com. All right, you guys, it's time for our last commercial break. But when we come back, it's time for Affirmation of the Week. Welcome back to Besa. I'm your host, Besa Gordon, and if you're new here, each week we like to end the show with a quote, affirmation, or a mantra. This week, we're doing more of a mantra because I really think it's so important for us to really just be comfortable in the skin that we're in. And when I say that, I mean including the reflection that's looking back at you. So a lot of you may have noticed over the last couple months, my skin's been going a little topsy-turvy, a little haywire. It's been doing the most. We're definitely gonna get a little bit more into that in the upcoming episodes, but I say all that to say this. If I'm able to stand right here in front of all of you on TV and just all of my insecurities, if I'm being honest, I have scars everywhere, I'm itchy, I'm very uncomfortable due to my eczema flare-ups. And if you guys have eczema, you know what I mean when I talk about these eczema flare-ups. They are no joke, but it doesn't stop you from who you are, right? It's just that part of your outer appearance. So although you may be uncomfortable on the outside, that is where you have to start working on your comfortability of the inside. Because what's wild is that although I'll notice all the dark spots on my face, all the dark patches, nobody else really seems to notice it until I point it out. So look, when you feel like you just might not be enough, know that you are enough. I know you might have some scars, friend, trust me, I have them all over my body right about now. But we are enough, we are beautiful, and guess what? We live to see another day. All right, guys, that is it for this week's episode of Back to Besa. I hope you enjoyed this week's show, and also let me know if you enjoyed me standing up. This was a little bit different, so we're gonna see if we like this. Anywho, you guys, look, if there's anything that you want me to know about, that could even be a person, you already know what to do. Shoot me an email at backtobesa@whereweconverge.com. In the meantime, between time, as usual, I definitely once again have to thank you guys for watching the show, and you already know what I'm gonna say. Make sure that you have an amazing rest of your day, and of course, keep that energy high.